I'm Chadwick Jones, and welcome to part 1 of my 8-episode look back on the popular series Dragonball. Before we start, I'd like to clear up a few ground rules. Rule number 1.
Stop that laughing!
Since I'm going to be talking about a show that's not only good, but one of my favorites, these reviews are not going to be as funny as usual. So, I'm going to fit in a joke here or there when I can, but for the most part, this is just going to be a straight tribute. Rule number 2.
The books do not matter.
I will only be talking about the 3 shows and a couple dozen of the movies. So that means no manga, no video games, no trading cards, and no holographic Meatloaf tales narrated by Morgan Freeman. As disappointing as that sounds. Rule number 3. I could, in all honesty, make a full-length review for every single episode in this series. But I don't have the time, and I doubt you have the patience. However, if you want me to elaborate on any particular episode or movie that you like, then please let me know, and I'll give it the attention it truly deserves. Rule number 4. We don't have a 4th rule. So, without further ado, here is the one, the only, Dragonball. Inspired by the Chinese novel Journey to the West, as well as the success of earlier work like Dr. Slump, a man named Akira Toriyama decided to make a manga series about a strange boy with unnatural abilities who owned something called a Dragon Ball. This was called Dragon Boy, and it sucked. So if at first you don't succeed, this new series, simply titled Dragon Ball, became a hit amongst manga readers during the 80s. It was so popular that an animated show was produced by Toei Animation for all to see. As long as you understood Japanese. Who doesn't, Fureku? For those of you who didn't, you're in luck! In 1989, Harmony Gold USA released a version that heavily cut most of the scenes and gave the characters names like Zero and Whiskers the Wonder Cat. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. This failed miserably with test audiences and the idea was scrapped. So Funimation took up the challenge and also failed. Only once Dragon Ball Z became popular did Funimation suddenly decide it was worth it, and on August 20th, 2001, the world got their very first full English dub of the show that inspired a more popular show. So, after all that build-up, I suppose you're wondering what the opening shot is, the very first thing we see in this show. Now remember, this is supposed to be something really cool, something that'll reel you in and make you care what's going on. Check it out. Let's see, a mountain, a deer, some butterflies, a pterodactyl, all pretty normal. Whoa! A kid with a monkey tail riding an enormous log and wielding a saw that's twice the size of his body. This is Akira Toriyama for you folks. The first half of this episode is just establishing our main character, Goku, as an incredibly strong and agile orphan child full of innocence and nobility, living his life in the woods. This might not sound like anything special, but even today there are several shows and movies Tarzan that just can't figure out how to do this right. The episode also establishes things like dino caps, which are small capsules that contain things like houses and vehicles, and the fact that there are dinosaurs in this world. Some of them can even talk.
As a matter of fact, we have fancy dinner engagements, but the reservations are only for 2.
Goku's life is then turned upside down when he meets a certain special girl. Just kidding. Goku is so unbelievably strong that car accidents and bullets are to him as paintballs are to us. Huh. Something about this is familiar. Also, since he has only ever known one person in his life, his deceased grandfather, Gohan, he actually does not know what a woman is. He even confuses her for a monster. This particular lady is called Bulma.
Fine, help the stupid turtle if you want. I can find the Dragon Balls by myself.
We love Bulma.
It's a lot better than Goku, that's for sure.
She is on a search for the 7 mystic Dragon Balls of legend.
When the 7 balls are finally brought together, A beautiful burst of energy will light the sky, and in a blazing surge of fiery power, the eternal dragon will rise before you for the sole purpose of granting you a single wish, whatever it may be.
They are essentially the main driving goal of the Dragon Ball series. Everyone wants these things, some with bad intentions.
I'll wish for the most perfect boyfriend that ever lived.
Some with cliched intentions.
I want to rule the entire world!
Of course!
And some with weird intentions.
The world's most comfortable pair of ultra soft...
Bulma has already collected 2 of the balls, and Goku has a 3rd, which his grandfather got him. Since he is unwilling to give the ball to her, Bulma agrees to take him along on her quest. But not before...
You let me have your Dragon Ball, and I'll let you have a little peek.
She's 17 years old, by the way. Thought I'd let you know.
What do I care about seeing your dirty old fanny?
It is not dirty, you rude little boy!
Using a device Bulma built called a Dragon Radar... Did I mention Bulma is a technological genius? She sure acts like one. They begin their quest, thus ending episode 1. The next few episodes are known as the Pilaf Saga. Pilaf referring to Emperor Pilaf, or this guy. He is notably cartoony compared to later villains in the series. My guess is because, since the show was new, Akira did not want to introduce anyone violent or complex so soon as the antagonist. Hell, Pilaf is such a one-dimensional villain that even he doesn't know why he wants to take over the world. Just feels he has to. Really refreshing when you think about it. And now that I've talked about the main characters, it's time to show off what the Pilaf Saga loved best. More main characters! There is everyone's favorite pervert, Master Roshi, a skilled martial arts trainer also known as the Turtle Hermit, who actually trained Goku's grandfather back in the day. He gives Goku the Flying Nimbus, a cloud that anyone with a pure heart can fly. He also gives Bulma his Dragon Ball, in exchange for her exposing her underwear to him. Something she does without a moment's hesitation. Yeah, if you're looking for a likable female character in this series, wait until Dragon Ball Z with the androids.
You're done, that's it!
Oh, my eyes. I think I'm blind. I'm gonna faint.
It serves you right.
Next is Oolong, a shape-shifting pig who is terrorizing a village. After they figure out his shape-shifting is purely cosmetic, he stops his evil ways, gets them another Dragon Ball, and gets dragged along. We then meet Yamcha and Puar. Yamcha is a desert bandit who has only one fear: women. And, of course, since he has this particular phobia, he happens to accidentally see Bulma naked on multiple occasions.
That Dragon Balls. That Dragon Balls.
Puar is a cat who went to the same school as Oolong and also possesses shape-shifting abilities. No, I'm not joking. They went to the same school. It was called Shape-Shifting School. This is a thing that exists. So, does this mean that Yamcha joins them so that this Wizard of Oz comparison can be complete? Actually, no. Since he is genuinely afraid of Bulma, he trails behind them with the hope of using the Dragon Balls to wish away his fear. Lastly, we have the Ox King.
I knew it! You're just stinking treasure hunters!
That's not true, sir.
What do you know about truth, you little thief?
Holy shit, this guy looks awesome! I'm sure the battle between him and Goku will be the fight of our generation. Cool! When do we get to see him fight again? Never. God damn it. Turns out that the Ox King was also trained by Master Roshi. He agrees to give Goku his Dragon Ball as long as he helps him put out a small house fire. A house fire that's been burning for over 10 years. Goku then journeys with the Ox King's daughter, Chi-Chi. I would usually question why that 10-year-old is dressed in an outfit that would make most strippers feel embarrassed, but... No, why is that 10-year-old dressed like an embarrassed stripper? They go to Master Roshi to see if he has any way to extinguish the flames. As luck would have it, he did! It is called the Turtle Devastation Wave, or as it is more popularly known... This does end up getting rid of the fire, as well as the house. It's all good, though. We also get one of my favorite scenes in the Pilaf saga, where Goku learns the Kamehameha wave. Although this does raise some questions. Well, for instance, this is the signature move of the Turtle House. Yet neither the Ox King nor Grandpa Gohan actually know how to do it. And yes, Roshi does say it takes dozens of years to learn, and I suppose you could say Goku picked it up pretty fast because he's just a badass. Yep, I get that. But there's characters not much stronger than Ox and Gohan who learned this move pretty damn fast as well. So why didn't Roshi teach it to them? My guess is that he honestly knew how popular it would be if it got out and wanted to keep it to himself. Fun fact, Akira Toriyama actually practiced different poses in the mirror to find one that looks the coolest. I think he made the right decision. After seeing Goku achieve this after only observing the move once, Roshi offers to train him after his quest is complete. Another really stupid episode goes by, and our heroes now have all 7 of the Dragon Balls.
The balls are mine now!
It's Emperor Pilaf and his crew. They lure our heroes. Whoa, I just realized. For all the different times I've referred to the story's protagonists as heroes, this is the only time I've actually meant that. It's a welcome change. They lure our heroes into a trap and get locked in a room with no way out. Goku tries his newfound Kamehameha wave, but it only manages to make a small hole in the wall. Just big enough for Puar and Oolong to squeeze through. Pilaf is making his wish. The best they can hope for is to wish for something before he gets a chance to.
I want to have the world.
The world's most comfortable pair of ultra soft...
Yep, although we will see these balls used for things like granting immortality and bringing back planets from destruction, the very first thing we see wished on them is conjuring up a pair of women's underwear. I love this show. Let me just give a quick admiration to Shenron, the immortal dragon who is summoned by the Dragon Balls. This guy just fascinates me. He was created for the sole purpose of granting wishes, and he does a great job at it, but whenever he comes out, he always seems annoyed with everybody.
You try my patience.
I like to think he is always summoned whilst in a poker game with other fictional dragons, and he wants to get back before Parthenax looks at his cards. Pilaf is understandably upset at this turn of events, especially since the Dragon Balls turn to stone and are spread around the world for a year after making a wish. They are thrown into another, much stronger prison where Pilaf apparently has some sort of convoluted solar death machine hooked up. Once the sun comes up, everyone will be fried. That night, there's a full moon, and Goku is concerned.
Did you guys know that a terrible monster comes out when the moon is full? But I'm not making it up, Bulma. My grandpa was trampled to death by that monster.
Jeez, so Grandpa Gohan was killed by a monster? Wow, that's rough. Goku, are you okay? I think something may be wrong here. Oh, sweet Jesus! Yeah, so whenever Goku looks into the full moon, he turns into a giant gorilla. Good to know. Pilaf and his team try to take him down, but to no avail. Puar remembers hearing that Goku's tail was his weakness, so Oolong turns into a pair of scissors and cuts it off. Well, I don't know about you, but that certainly just made me a hell of a lot more interested in the show. And thus the Pilaf saga ends, with Goku going to train at Master Roshi's house. So is this the end of part 1 of my look back? Hell no! You see, the show is divided into arcs, and these arcs are divided into sagas. And we just finished the Pilaf saga, but this episode covers the Goku arc. So, on to the tournament saga. So what is the plot of this one? Well, the Dragon Balls won't appear for another year, so the title of the show is kind of misleading. Goku spends this time training with Master Roshi and his newfound friend Krillin, so that they can compete in the World Martial Arts Tournament. They train, and they train, and they train some more, then they fight, and somebody wins. That sounds like the most boring premise ever, doesn't it? But, to be honest, this saga might be better than the first. To me, Dragon Ball was always at its best when there wasn't a super important goal they have to achieve. Dragon Ball Z especially was almost always about how something was going to destroy the world. Somebody was going to enslave the world. World this, world that. It is so nice to return to these days where everything was simple and fun, where the most important thing on everyone's minds was, I want to win this competition. So since the saga was not structured as orderly as the Pilaf saga, I'm gonna have to do this slightly differently and focus more on important aspects of this part. First up is the new guy I mentioned, Krillin. After being teased because of his height back at his tribe, Krillin ventured over to Master Roshi with the hope of being trained by him personally. Roshi did have a rule about only one student at a time, but
Maybe some quiet reading will change your mind?
Krillin managed to change his mind. Apparently he was introduced because Akira Toriyama's editor, Kazuhiko Torishima, felt that Goku was too bland a protagonist to carry the show by himself. That might sound like the man interfering with an artist's work, and I guess it technically is, but Krillin is pretty interesting. He starts off as kind of a jerk. He cheats on Master Roshi's tests twice. He tries to find shortcuts around training, but after a while, Goku's influence rubs off on him and he becomes a decent human being. Next is my favorite character, Master Roshi. This guy is such a pervert, he only accepts Goku into his training program if he brings him a beautiful woman. Does he do this for every student he accepts? If so, where are these people? Dear God, he just might be a monster! Well, at least he's a good martial arts teacher, right? Surprisingly, no. Throughout the entire training process, he never actually teaches them any moves or strategies. It's more like a really tough workout than anything else. Tough workout is one hell of an understatement. He has them deliver milk on foot to an entire town, as well as swim across shark-infested lakes and wear 100-pound turtle shells on their backs. Extreme or not, it does get results. Did I mention Launch yet? Launch is pretty cool. She is the woman Goku brought to the Kame house, and she has some unique kind of multiple personality disorder that only activates when she sneezes. She also has almost nothing to do with the overall storyline, so moving on. To the tournament! Finally! There's one thing I like, it's a fight. And this is a whole series of them. After a preliminary round, the 8 quarterfinalists are chosen, and here are the matchups. First up is Krillin versus an abomination known only as Bacterium, a disgusting human being who uses his horrible smell to fight people. It seems to work against Krillin until he realizes he doesn't have a nose. I'm dead serious. We then have Yamcha versus a mysterious competitor known as Jackie Chun, and Yamcha does what he does best. After that is Nam and Ranfran. Nam is fighting in order to use the prize money to get water for his people. Ranfran has boobs. It's a perfect matchup. Lastly, we have Goku versus a lizard called Giran. The fight is neck and neck until Goku suddenly grows back his tail and gains +6 strength and +4 constitution. Now for the semi-finals. No, Chadwick! This sequence has reached its maximum capacity. If you continue, you risk boring the audience. Don, what have I told you? We don't break the fourth wall on this show. It's become too commonplace in today's media. Isn't that right, audience member? Hey, Jolene! Come check out this funny man on the internet! He just told me he's a real person, but it's funny cause he's not. I can't right now, honey. I'm too busy looking directly into the camera. My word, this show's atrocious interpretation of humor is affecting my delicate sensibilities. Winston, bring me a copy of the New Yorker so that I might wittingly read it aloud to my viewing demographics. Brilliant! I want this on national airways within the hour. I love how it's a show within a show and all that crap. In fact, that's the only kind of show I produce. I'm serious, that's all we got, folks. Damn, Inception Brothers really went downhill after the 19th season. Round 2 starts off with Krillin versus the esteemed Jackie Chun. Krillin manages to distract him with underwear and send him flying out of the ring until Roshi blasts himself back in with a Kamehameha wave. Oh, I'm sorry, did I accidentally say Roshi? Sorry, I was just confused because they have the same clothes, the same build, the same voice, moveset, and weaknesses, as well as the fact that Roshi is never around when Jackie Chun is on stage. Quick side note, what the hell is up with gravity in this series? I mean, Roshi floats around for half a minute before he lets loose with the wave. In the real world, he would have hit the ground in 5 seconds, tops. But this isn't even the worst offender. Take, for example, a moment from earlier. Look at this! Look at this! This isn't a parabola, it's a fucking trapezoid! This takes place before everyone can fly, too. Wait, did that fight involve Goku's power pole? God, it's hard to compress this show correctly. I'll talk about it later, I swear. Where were we? Roshi ultimately wins in the end after he confuses Krillin with an experimental move he's been working on called the after-image technique, where he moves so fast he leaves behind a hologram of himself. Now is the gripping battle between Goku and Nam. Who will win? Let's see. This is only the semi-finals. Master Roshi has entered the competition for an unknown reason and will fight in the finals. Goku is the main character in the series, and Nam is some guy with a few neat moves. I estimate your chances as 1 in dick, my friend. Don't worry, though. He gets water for his people in the end. Roshi helps him out with that as we hear why he is fighting in the tournament.
Goku has tremendous talent, but I don't have to tell you that. You fought him yourselves. That's why I came, to see to it that he doesn't win this tournament. Goku and Krillin are just boys. To them, martial arts is an amazing game. They live to get better at it in the hopes that one day they'll be able to hang with the best. They have no idea that they're already at the pinnacle of the sport. I'm afraid that if they knew, they would lose interest. Because if you're on the top, then there's nothing left to shoot for. If they think that there are guys out there that are stronger than they are, like Jackie Chun, for instance, then they'll continue to give it everything they have, training like the wild animals they really are, totally carefree and uninhibited, without a trace of ego.
You know, that is a great reason to do that to Krillin, but I highly doubt that Goku would be content to just lay back and revel in his own awesomeness, even if he did think he was the best in the world. Okay, now it's time for the big fight. 1-on-1, Goku versus Jackie Chun. Are you ready, hippie? Ready! Kamehameha! After image, after image, after image. Stop spamming, you noob! Can play that game, motherfucker. Shit! Drunken fist mode! Monkey mode, biatch! Rock, paper, scissors! This is the best game ever. Oh shit, I can do that? Fuck. Oh, good! Grade 8 power-up! Oh, what the fuck? Hack! Eat shit, dude! Feel my awesome power! Come on! Dude, you just destroyed the moon! You can't do that! Really? Because if you haven't noticed, I just did! I'm gonna kick your ass! Like to see you try. What? Surprisingly, the referee does have a contingency plan for this. Whoever stands up first and declares himself the champion is the winner.
I am the champion.
I'm the world champion! I'm the world champion! Yes, I am the champion!
He lost by a syllable. I love this show. To celebrate, Master Roshi takes everyone out to dinner with his prize money, with everyone none the wiser about him and Jackie Chun being one and the same. However, Goku eats so much that he spends nearly all of it on the meal. Krillin and Roshi go back to Kame House as Bulma and the company go to her West City mansion, and Goku goes off to search for his grandfather's 4-star ball, as it has now been a year since the first wish was made. So that was the Goku arc. Now, the closing thought on this is gonna be a little different than most of my reviews. Mostly because if I did it the normal way, it would always sound like this. This show is good. Watch it now. The uncensored version, if possible. So instead, I'll try something different. On the next episode of the Dragon Ball Look Back, Chadwick takes a look at the famous Red Ribbon Army saga. General Blue? More like General Blue Balls, am I right? New topics are discussed. Hey, does anyone else notice the dinosaurs, or is it just me? And, as a new enemy draws closer, Chadwick needs to prepare for... What? What do you mean you haven't established him yet? Well, run the clip! Now! Now! Sir, we're picking up traces of that energy signature you asked us to look for. It's faint, but it's definitely him. Where is it coming from? It's on the southernmost island of New Zealand. New Zealand, eh? Clever. The place is such a technological Deadpool, it's no wonder we couldn't track him. We don't have exact coordinates at this time, sir, but the energy source is growing at a steady rate. Very well. Prepare the fleet. It's time Chadwick Jones and I had a family reunion. There, that is the new enemy I'm talking about. Next time let's do this parody after the story arc scene. Jesus, people.